Buckle that belt.
The neighbor is already threatening to call the cops. He's pissed.
If you get anxious, man, you just pop these little guys.
People out here looking like Paul Feinbaum trying to tell us what to do with our hair.
In my overserved state, I went to the wrong
House.
No, it was the right house.
Okay.
Dive bar means the beer is cold, the drinks aren't too expensive, and the hamburgers are great.
They are a unified front in doing their very best to keep me between the proverbial navigational beacons. Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the Marty Smith podcast here at Outsider. I'm Marty Smith. Wes Blankenship's in the house. Travis Rockhold. It's a cast of thousands. It's a cornucopia of bad decisions. And we have had quite a week, my friends. I was at the Indianapolis 500 for 5 days. Had an amazing experience there. Memorial Day was wonderful. I appreciated everybody's show of support for our veterans who died for our freedom. It's a beautiful day of remembrance and celebration. Lake Norman was absolutely wild. There were 429,221 boats out there, and we had to. Yeah, I did. Actually, that's a recount because when I got over to there's a place around the cove here called Hello Sailor where we'll get on the boat as a family and we'll make our way over to Hello Sailor, and they got an awesome menu, and Lainey and I love to have a couple beers there. We'll get us a cold Coors Light with a lime in it.
A lime in your Coors Light?
Yeah, man. Don't knock it till you try it, dude. Everybody's like, oh, I love lime in my Corona. I love lime in my Modelo.
I mean,
But
made
they
a
don't
Bud
say
Light
that
lime.
about their Coors Light cold
It doesn't
beers.
matter. You can put a lime in a beer.
I don't put limes in any of my beers.
Travis,
Well,
you
you
look like
don't-
a stop sign, brother. Did you forget to apply some SPF?
No, so for me, it'll turn. I didn't expect my Sunday to turn out the way my Sunday turned out.
All right, well, first of all, I think maybe we should just start right there. Why don't you explain to us why you look like
You're
a
about
bottle
as
of
red as
ketchup?
Marty's coffee mug.
So
You look like a bottle of ketchup with legs.
a friend of mine that I hadn't seen since probably college hit me up. He's like, hey, I'm in town for my bachelor party. I'm like, all right, hit me up.
Most Nashville sentence I've heard in the last 20 minutes.
Did y'all get on a tandem bicycle and sip drinks?
Did y'all get on one of those deals where you pedal for your beer?
No, I
you know,
refuse
where
to
you
get on
pedal
those, the
around
pedal
town and they
taverns.
got taps of beer, and I don't know who came up with that, and I don't know how in the hell the business is so successful. Somebody's got everybody snowed.
I think the Wright brothers invented it.
They may have down there in Kitty Hawk. That might have been right after the aeroplane.
Remember-
They put a couple old buddies on a covered wagon and made their way around town.
Remember when the Chili's logo was like it actually had like a face, it had like sunglasses on it, and had like a little smirk? That's what Travis looks like right now. You look like that old Chili's logo.
There's this little button down right beneath Wesley's face that says "Leave Studio," and it is as red as possible. And I'm I'm struggling to tell the difference between Travis's nose and the
Don't
"Leave
click on
Studio"
Travis.
button.
Could be the button. All right, go ahead, Travis.
What'd you do? Pass out wasted? What happened?
No, so they're like, we're going to go to brunch in the Gulch. And I'm like, well, where at? I live there. And the place they said, I'm like, I live across the street. So they hit me up and so I joined them for brunch. And I'm expecting, all right, have brunch. And then I'm going to go back home and have a nice lazy day watching, more racing. And they're like, all right, where are we going next? You're a tour guide. And I'm like, all right, I guess we're going for it. And so I took him to Six and Peabody, which is also the Old Smoky and Yeehaw place. And it was going slow. Everyone else was like licking their wounds. And then the groom to be said, we need to do some shots to liven everybody up. I said,
Lord.
okay.
It's the worst sentence ever. Like, it's just so
Yeah.
stupid.
So his first choice, I'm like, they have Old Smoky has all different flavors. He goes, no, I want the OG. I want the White Lightning. I'm like, all right. He's the one buying the first round, so I'm not going to say no. And then we proceeded to take more shots, though. And there's this one strawberry one that tastes like a damn Jolly Rancher. And so there was at least, I think I bought.
You look like a strawberry Jolly Rancher.
You do it. I was just going to say, I was going to let him finish his sentence, and then I was going to say, you learned by osmosis or something. Like it has permeated your pores
I think I
to
still
the point
smell
where
like I still
you
smell
look like that
strawberry.
Roll Tide helmet over my right shoulder.
Okay, that's where I draw the line. I think I bought like 10 or so shots. The bar tab was the biggest one I've had since moving to Nashville.
How much?
It was $230.
You had a $230 shot tab.
Well, and I had 4 margaritas.
Old Smoky.
1 margarita, 2 margarita, 3 margarita floor.
And so then they were like, we want to go one more place and we're going to go back home and change, shower, and whatever. And so then I took them to Broadway and took them to Miranda Lambert's bar on the rooftop.
That's your jam, dude. Miranda's bar is Travis's spot.
Dude,
Every time he texts me, that's where he is.
If you're a single guy, it's the spot to be. And
is that because that's where all the young single ladies go?
Yes.
All the single ladies?
Yes, and there was I think like 10 or 12 people here for the bachelor party, and at least half of them were single. So it's like, let's go where the single girls are so you can
I'm
dance.
guessing that Miranda may have some sort of edict or rules chart on the door when if you have gray hair, you're not allowed to walk into the Miranda Lambert bar.
I don't know, but that's I probably shouldn't say it because now people are gonna be like, oh, that's I should have kept that my secret.
Well,
but
it's
that's
obviously working out real well for you.
So yeah, Sunday was. I got home I forget. I was texting you and I was hammered.
You were hammered. I was in the middle of actually trying to make a living. And
no, that's not
true.
Marcus
Erickson. What was I doing?
You were home when I texted you.
Oh, it was at nighttime?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That late Sunday night buzz.
I might have to go back through here because I'm 1,000% positive that you were texting me as I was still at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Travis, it was 2 p.m.
I mean, I was drunk at like 2 p.m., but I texted him and he said just landed.
I had an awesome week at the Indianapolis 500. I, on Thursday and Friday, spent much of my days with Jimmy Johnson, the 7-time NASCAR champion, great friend of mine, been a great friend of mine for years. And I was talking to a bunch of our other friends. Jimmy, a bunch of our friends came up there to watch him make his Indianapolis 500 debut, and they were all in a box together, in a suite together. And so during the race, I snuck over there and said hello to a bunch of them, and
they weren't in the snake pit?
It was not in the snake pit, no. No, but the snake pit is wild. I mean, I was this close to making an executive, fatherly decision to bring my 16-year-old son who lives EDM music. He doesn't love it. I mean, he loves EDM. And I'm like, I'm going to take Cameron to the Indianapolis 500 with me. He can do a little work. He can capture some social stuff for me. He can blah, blah, blah. And then he can go see Skrillex and Fat Rat and Dead Mouse and whoever in the hell else those guys are over there at the Snake Pit. And let me tell you, I'm glad I didn't bring it. Because,
make that his high school graduation present. You take him then.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. I would prefer to be with him because some stuff's going on in there that I can't describe on any sort of family type of platform. But I mean, I saw things leaving the racetrack on Saturday. I saw something Travis, did I text you and tell you what I saw?
No.
Okay, I'll text you too and tell you what I saw because I can't say it on here. Patrick Abrahams, my ace field producer, my brother, one of my best friends, and I were leaving the racetrack on Saturday, and I was like in my phone. We were both exhausted, so we were just going to get Uber Eats and go back to the hotel and eat. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, somewhere around there. It wasn't dark yet, but it was making its way towards dark. And, dude, we saw something I can't believe I saw. And there are there's some undertones there that you can read into all you wish. Well, and I'll tell you boys what it is in a private chat.
All right.
Have you followed that Twitter account?
That.
The Indy 500 picks Twitter account?
Yeah, it's hysterical. That one lady, man, boy, she was tuned up. Did you see this, Wes, where that lady was trying to
Twitter or Instagram?
It is. It's
Twitter.
A tweeter machine. And
what's the account called?
This Indy 500 picks.
Okay.
Yep.
I think it's PICS, not PIX.
Yeah.
There's this one lady who's trying to make her way across the barren landscape.
Oh, yeah, there's
to
some
the
gold in here.
Portolets. And she is chased. She's so hammered, high, drunk. I don't know what all she is.
She looks like
Intoxicated.
Jiminy Cricket. She's walking leaning backwards right now.
Yes. And you'll see she goes even further backwards. She ends up ass over tea
there
kettle.
she goes.
And I mean, I don't know how smashed you got to be to get to that place.
Holds the beer up though.
Guacamole.
She doesn't spill much of the beer.
That's true. It's a redeeming factor in someone's personality and character that they can save the cold beer. It's like when the dads are in the stands at the baseball games and they got little junior right here sitting on there bouncing on their knee, and they got a cold beer in the other hand, and they decide to catch the baseball with the baby hand instead of the beer hand.
Oh yeah, I can't do that.
I'm convinced that beer hand is what keeps them up for so much longer than when you think they're going to fall down. That beer is that extra bit of weight to keep them forward a little bit.
That's what Travis experiences at the Miranda Lambert bar.
Yeah. Have you ever held a baby? It's a little heavier than a beer, my man.
No, I'm great with kids, actually.
Oh, dear.
I got 5 nieces and nephews.
Those poor kids.
Yeah, when they're your nieces and nephews, you can give them back.
Oh, that's the best part.
A little different equation than when they're yours and they're on your watch and their bad decisions become yours in a hurry. Patrick, speaking of Patrick, he made one of the most deft traffic decisions I've ever seen in my life. So we get the Indianapolis 500 was a fast race. I mean, it was started and it was over. And so I forget exactly what time of day it finished, but I think it was around 3:50 p.m., maybe somewhere around in there. I think it was still in the 3 o'clock Eastern hour. And then around 4 o'clock or so, we get down to Victory Lane. And we're going to interview Marcus Ericsson, the winner of the Indianapolis 500, directly after he's done with all the Victory Lane stuff. So it's NBC interview with my boy Marty Snyder. It's drinking the milk. It's getting the big wreath over your sash here, whatever you call that deal. It's all the hat dance. It's all the sponsors. It's the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds taking a picture. It's the guy in Maverick and new Maverick Top Gun movie over here. It's this celebrity over here. It's the trio that sang America the Beautiful or God Bless America one. I forget, but oh my gosh. I don't know if y'all saw pre-race. Pre-race was, I had chills all over me the whole time. It's the coolest pre-game experience that there is. And
the people singing it was a girl named Tom. Those were the 3 people.
That was the trio?
Yeah.
Man, they slayed. They absolutely slayed. And I'm standing there right beside of my producer. I'm standing right there beside some other friends of mine, and all of us are looking at each other going, oh my gosh, I got chills all over my body, and it was 100 degrees outside. And I was wearing a red, white, and blue seersucker. We can get to that in a minute. But back to Marcus Ericsson. So we're standing there waiting, and he comes over to us. I ask him 3 or 4 questions, including the final question, which was, Marcus, how do you say cold beer in Swedish? And he answered me, and I said, well, that's really good, brother. Why don't you go get you one of those? You earned it.
How do you say it?
Cold. I don't know. I don't know. I did know. Patrick's girlfriend is named Tina, and she's from Estonia. And their cold beer is kind of similar to the Swedish cold beer. And so Patrick knew how to say it perfectly. And so he taught me, but I failed miserably. I can't remember. But it's like cold ooh or something like that. And, of course, Marcus said it beautifully. So we get done with that, and then we are gone. I have a 7:30 flight. At this point, it's like 5-something. And everybody had told me, even though there's going to be 350,000 people at the Indianapolis 500, that they had egress, just money, no problem. The way they've done this for 100 years. Cars will be rolling. Race has been over for an hour and a half, something like that. And so we get to the car, and gridlock. I mean, parking lot, gridlock. And so we're trying to do our best post. We're pretty good at post-game, and Patrick is elite at post-game traffic. But we're not going anywhere. Like, we can't figure out what's going on Georgetown right beside Indianapolis Motor Speedway, to the point where he is looking at his GPS deal, and he goes, here's what we're going to do, dude. We're going to go back into the racetrack. We're going to go right up here, back into the racetrack, all the way through the racetrack to 16th on the other side. I went, no. We shouldn't do that. You should never go back inside the racetrack. That's a terrible decision.
We're going back inside the beast.
Boys, the man takes a right. The state policeman lets us go right in, no problem. And the yellow shirt loses his ever-loving mind. Ah! And then, we're like, whoa, bro. And so then he starts going. He's all pissed off, pointing us through there or whatever. So we're like, whatever, dude. So the yellow shirts, if you've never been in the Indianapolis 500 and you've not had the great pleasure of meeting the yellow shirts, you should go.
And what for people who maybe haven't been, don't understand is, there's a neighborhood right outside the track. Like, it's residential. Like, it's not like it's just like at some of these, football arenas and stuff where the highways are right there. Like, it's residential.
Oh yeah, it was built. This was the 106th running. So anyway, the gentleman wearing the yellow shirt, very demonstratively points us into the tunnel. So into the tunnel we go, and we drive all the way past. Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There's some statistic, and Travis, you can look this up and tell me I'm wrong. It's something like you can fit every Big Ten stadium inside Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Something crazy like that.
Yeah, you have a golf course in there.
And so they do have a golf course in there. And so we drive all the way through. We go out the tunnel to 16th. We hook a left on 16th. And it just so happens 1 minute after, and traffic's rolling. It just so happens 1 minute after we get on 16th, there is an ambulance that comes through. And so we get in behind the ambulance and go. And then we end up, the first right we can take, we did it. I had already called Laney when we were sitting in that traffic. I was already starting to lay the groundwork bricks to the disappointment that would come with, I'm not going to make it home tonight. Because if I would have missed that 7:30, I probably would just be getting home now. Like, some of my friends were on a 6:30 a.m. Monday on Memorial Day that was delayed 3.5 hours by maintenance.
Oh, no.
So just a complete mess. I not only made the flight, I made it in time to have a beer before the flight. The man is an absolute marvel. He is like the man. Not only is he the best field producer, so creative, but he's also a wonderful soul, and he is fearless in, all right, we're just going to do this deal. He told me. His blood pressure never changed. Mine, meanwhile, you two know me pretty well, was pinned.
Sometimes after you watch a race like that, you have a little extra confidence, like you can pull off some of these maneuvers too. And maybe Patrick was just riding on some of that lightning.
So
I have never had that level of confidence, Wesley.
That is a good point, though. After I watch F1 or something, I feel like I shouldn't be allowed to drive for at least 30 minutes. Like, it's the pool rule for driving. Like, after a race, you shouldn't drive for 30 minutes.
Or after you drive a golf cart for 18 holes.
Yeah.
You pull some maneuvers out there too. You're like, wait a second, I'm on an actual road right now. This could put me in jail.
Yeah. I'm with Wes. We need a rule, 30-minute rule for
cool down period.
Driving. Yeah. But
okay.
So how was your Saturday morning when you eating turkey legs and drinking so early in the morning?
It was amazing. Going back to Patrick. That's all him. He put together one of the most epic Marty and McGee programs ever. We made the decision on Friday. He looked at me and he's like, how should we open Marty and McGee? And I'm like, I'll tell you what I think we should do. I think we should get 2 chairs and set them in Gasoline Alley and be there when the sun comes up. It would be the most amazing thing ever. And so we plotted this whole strategy. We're going to go here. We interviewed 5 champions. We interviewed Jimmy Johnson. We interviewed Scott Dixon, 6-time IndyCar champion, 2008 Indy 500 champion, was the absolute class of the field on Sunday before he sped on pit road and thwarted his effort to win a second Indianapolis 500 alongside his teammate Alex Palou, the 2021 IndyCar champion. We left them and went over to interview Joseph Newgarden, a champion of the sport. We left there and went over to the American Legion Garage with Tony Kanaan and a guy named Dave Birkenfeld, who is a Navy SEAL and is an amazing human being, and they have a cool program we should just take a moment to mention. It's called Be the One. I did not realize that 17 veterans take their life every day. 17 every day. And this program that the American Legion put together on TK's car and for the Indianapolis 500 is called Be the One. And what that means is be the one that makes the difference. Reach out to the veteran, or be the veteran that makes the decision to get the help. Be the person that is a good enough friend and a good enough confidant and whatnot to reach out to these folks and build them up spiritually and help them. And it's an amazing program. I think it's so cool that they're doing it. And I went to an event on Friday evening with Jimmy, or Thursday evening maybe, with Jimmy Johnson. And the American Legion put that event on at one of the distilleries in Indianapolis. And it was an awesome event, and I learned so much about what they're doing and how they're trying to help, and it's just a cool program. So if y'all have friends who are veterans, be fearless to reach out to them and try to just be a beacon for them and listen and engage, because they may need it. Anyway, interviewed TK and Dave, and then we left there, and we went out to a campground and spent the rest of the morning with this family, Larry's gang, whom Patrick and I had met the previous day. We went and tried to find the best campground we could find on Friday evening, and sure enough, man, this family was awesome. Larry, the patriarch of Larry's gang, his first Indianapolis 500 was in 1948. Jesus. And there were 4 generations of that family at this campground. We put Larry on TV and just let him we just kind of pulled the string and let him go. And we had been trying desperately to encapsulate the spirit of the Indianapolis 500, because it's so much more than just that race. It's this beautiful display of patriotism. It's this beautiful display of remembrance for our military members who paid the ultimate sacrifice, who died so that we could be free. It is back home again in Indiana. It is America the Beautiful. It is taps, and when they play taps, you just have chills all over you. It's just an amazing sensory experience to be at the Indianapolis 500. And we tried desperately to encapsulate that and articulate that. And then we put a microphone in Larry's hand. I mean, it was amazing listening to that guy. And so not only did he make our show better, but they poured me mimosas at 9:30 in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, and we sat there at their bar. They had a pop-up tent. This is the coolest bit of redneck engineering I've ever seen. They took a pop-up trailer, like the 2-wheel pop-up tag-along trailers. Mm-hmm. They took one of those. They built a bar around the periphery of it. They put a beer tap in it. There's a refrigerator in it, and it's their bar. When they come to the Indianapolis 500, they come every year. And so that was really cool. We got to sit there at their bar, and they made McGee a Bloody Mary. They made me a mimosa, and their spirit was beautiful, man. 2 years old, or I think they had one little tiny brand new guy that I met that morning, but it was babies all the way up to Larry, who I didn't ask how old Larry was, but I know if he went to his first 500 in 1948, he ain't no spring chicken.
I was concerned with you having mimosas at that point, because I've seen you have to have cold beer early in the morning for work purposes. I was just worried that might have put you a little off kilter.
No, man, it just put me right in the wheelhouse.
Okay.
It put me right in the wheelhouse. And the funny part about it all to me is the fact that we do that on that television program. And we know that the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference is watching the show. He's the biggest fan of the show.
Me and him were tweeting at each other during it.
And so, it's just it blows our minds that we can be at all these events. And Formula One in Miami, Indianapolis 500, I mean, it's just really cool that we can be at all these events and represent the SEC that way.
Did you see
he's thrilled that we do that?
Did you see where he wants you to go to next?
Monaco Grand Prix?
No. That was what I said is going to be your pick. He wants you to go to do a show at Eldora Speedway.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could do
that's
that.
That's where the
I
commissioner
don't
wants
think
you to
there's
go.
any debating that we could do that.
I think he wants you to do that just so that he can then go. I think that's what it's. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have to worry about that either. We know some people. We could hook him up. That dude Greg Sankey is the biggest dirt racing fan I know. I mean, that guy, he grew up in upstate New York, loving big block modifieds and dirt modifieds and whatnot out there in, I think it's Oswego, I want to say, Speedway, going to that racetrack as a kid, and he loves dirt track racing. In fact, when the dirt modifieds were here in Charlotte, I think it was last fall, Sankey hit us up. We connected him with Marcus Smith and the folks out at Charlotte Motor Speedway and their dirt track, and Commissioner Sankey got a ride along in one of the dirt modifieds, and I think it was the greatest moment of his life. Except for when, like, Alabama beats Ohio State and he can talk trash to Travis.
So he loves to talk trash.
So what are the chances you get a sit-down interview with Sankey and the two of you share a mimosa or get Sankey to sip on a Bloody Mary? That would be some...
I would say that's probably a very small percentage chance.
It's worth a shot.
It's worth a shot. I mean, all they can say is no. It's a story. That's Travis's entire life mantra, and it's universal across whatever. I mean, if he goes down to the Miranda Lambert's bar and asks one of them girls wearing a pink cowboy hat to dance, all she can say is yes or no.
Shot.
If he's trying to get Matthew McConaughey on the Marty Smith podcast and he reach out, all they can say is no.
And actually, worse is no is not the worst thing that can happen. Them not responding is the worst. So no is still, for a guest request, no is, to me, is like a maybe, because now you've responded, and now I know this email is active and you respond to it. So in 2 months, I'll hit you up.
Yeah. Travis is kind of like a gnat. You know how you just you just swat them away, but man, they just keep on hanging
Put that
around.
on your LinkedIn, Travis. Like a gnat.
Speaking of,
that's why I love the guy.
Speaking
he has been fearless throughout our relationship in going after anybody. I'll send him random texts. Like, the one that really stands out to me the most is Ken Burns, the famous documentarian. I had been watching the country music Ken Burns documentary, and I hit up Travis and I'm like, dude, get us Ken Burns. Guess what? Next thing you know, we're interviewing Ken Burns, and when we had Marty Smith's America at ESPN, that may be it was definitely one of our most memorable.
We're gonna have a guest on in a couple months that I've been working on trying to get this person for a couple years now.
Well,
and things just haven't been able to work out. So
do I know who that is, and it's escaping me right now, or is this a surprise?
I feel like I told
Skrillex?
you. No. Though,
Dead Mouse?
you have told me to get Marshmallow. I've been trying to get that
Oh, yeah.
one.
Where's he at?
I'm working on that one. But speaking of lakes and stuff, Wes, you were at the lake this weekend, weren't you?
Yeah, I was at the lake, bro, and I kept the SPF on me. I didn't get burnt like you.
What lake?
Lake Oconee. You ever heard of it?
Okay. Yeah, of course I've heard of it. Tell me about it. What's cool about Lake Oconee, other than that it's a lake life, which is cool all the time?
It's big. It's a big lake. A lot of community, just a big community feel. It's got a great Publix and a Dairy Queen right up the road.
Sweet.
I mean, it's got a Waffle House. It has like all the amenities you want on dry land. It's not in any kind of like food desert. When you get off, you don't know what to do, where to go. So I don't know. I think it's just it's got some good vibes all the way around.
So do you camp, or do you just go there up for the day and then go back?
No,
or?
we have some family with a house up there. So
okay.
So yeah, but they're right on the lake, so get to live the lake life and the AC life, and sit on the couch and take a nap while you watch races all Sunday life. So it's pretty good.
When you go to Dairy Queen, what do you get?
I'm a Reese's blizzard guy. Just nice and simple. I don't mess around with any of the extra accoutrement, the fudge. I don't really dabble with all that.
Just say? What'd you just say?
I think it was the Swedish word for cold beer.
Okay.
I think you meant to say accoutrements, but you didn't.
Yeah, that's what I get. What about you?
I do the same. The Reese Cup Blizzard is the greatest dessert in the world. It is undefeated. It cannot be even remotely rivaled. But if you're like Travis and you've been at the Miranda Lambert bar and you're a little
Travis
bit
probably
tuned
gets
up,
like
you might
gummy
get
worms in his blizzard. He probably gets one of those
get
weird,
aggressive and like it's not just a Reese Cup, it's a Reese Cup plus Reese Pieces Blizzard. I mean, that is undefeated, man.
No, see, I go with either just the Oreo or like a chocolate chip cookie dough.
How do
what I
y'all
go with.
say Reese Pieces?
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
You say Reese's Pieces?
It rhymes.
Reese's
See, we don't.
Pieces.
Where I grew up, now this has been I've had this conversation with my beautiful wife before.
You take that S off, don't you?
When I say Reese Pieces, people are like, "What's that?" And where I grew up, that's what we called them. They're not Reese's Pieces; they're Reese Pieces.
The E on the end of Reese is silent, man. It's not Reese.
Reese Pieces. They're Reese cups. They're not Reese
Why don't you call
cups.
them
They're Reese
Reese
cups.
cups.
They're not Reese
Davis
cups.
cups.
Pokey Reese cups.
Who is what?
The
He's a baseball
player.
player. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I remember Pokey.
But
What position did Pokey play?
second
Second base.
for the Reds. We're gonna check.
What number was Pokey? Was he number 7?
I was gonna say like 12.
I don't think he was number 7. Look
7.
that up, Travis.
Let's see here.
Number
Was he really
7.
7?
No.
I don't know.
I'm trying.
Was
to
he
find
really?
it.
There's no way.
No, it looks like 3.
Number
Yeah,
3. That's a good Pokey number 3. That's a good one.
3's a good
I pulled
number.
7. I pulled 7 out of nowhere, just made it up. But I wasn't too far off. I knew that he was a single digit.
Did y'all have a
If your name's Pokey Reese, you're definitely a single.
Did y'all have a
guy.
Gumby's pizza anywhere near you growing up?
I know about Gumby's Pizza, but I don't think we
Well,
had.
they had-
one.
We
We
had
might
one
have
in
had one in
college.
Blacksburg, but that made.
Yeah, they had pokey
Yeah.
sticks.
Pokey sticks, yes.
What are Pokey sticks?
It's like melted
bread sticks.
cheese bread sticks.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow. Okay.
I don't believe they're.
Are they
Yeah.
good, Travis? It sounds like they're delicious.
Oh, well, I mean, I've never had them sober, so for all I know, they're trash. But
Nah, I think they're.
You know.
I think they're pretty legit. But we don't have the Gumby's in Athens anymore. But everyone listening that knows about Gumby's and pokey sticks, they know what I'm talking about. They know what's up.
What's the best pizza y'all have ever had?
so I'd have to probably say
Buckeye Slices down there at.
no. I mean,
The Brutus.
there was a place called Catfish Biff's down in college, which was good.
Catfish
But I'd have to
Biff's.
say, or Adriatic.
Catfish Biff's is the name of an establishment.
Yeah.
How's that compared to the Miranda Lambert's bar?
I've actually never eaten food at Miranda Lambert's. Strictly liquid diet there.
Yeah,
but no.
$230 worth of Fireball.
No, I didn't rack up a barbell there really. I don't think I might have bought one drink at Miranda's. Everyone else was at that
Oh,
point.
you said Old Smoky was where your
Yeah,
230.
Old Smoky got a lot of my money. Back to the pizza though, up in Connecticut, Pepe's Pizza, New Haven.
All right, Pepe's gets a vote. Wesley, what say you?
Oh gosh, best pizza ever.
Yeah, like that you've ever had. I mean, it might be Papa John's. I like Papa John's. Papa John's is good. Not my answer, but it's good.
I'd go Domino's over Papa John's.
What?
Yeah, I'm a Domino's
Travis.
guy over Papa John's.
Travis.
What about pizza? What about the Hut?
Well, I grew up with the Hut. Like,
Dude, the old
we
school hut
had-
with the buffet.
I think Old School Hut might really be my best pizza. Like I'm not. They changed it up. They changed the formula.
Old School Hut was the bomb, and on a lot of levels for me, because in Parisburg, we had Hardee's,
Ooh,
Dairy Queen, Tasty Freeze, and Pizza Hut. That's what we had.
Was the Tasty Freeze like a mom and
And-
pop owned?
Tasty Freeze was a chain,
Oh.
but it might have been a regional chain.
Okay.
It was like a knockoff Dairy Queen kind of deal, but it was cool, man, because they had the coolest jukebox in the Tasty Freeze. And they had all like old school. They had Waylon and Willie and Cash, and you'd get a quarter from Mom, and you'd go over there and put your quarter in, and you could actually see the record. Boop. And it was just the neatest thing. But the Pizza Hut was an experience, and we didn't get to have Pizza Hut very often when I was real young, but as I aged and got into high school, we had Pizza Hut every Sunday. And we would order the Hut. Mama and I would go pick up the Hut, and we'd come back and we'd watch NFL football as a family eating the Hut. Now, Pizza Hut was the gathering place on Friday nights after Spartan football games. And to this day, my wife laughs her tail off. In my summer place, we have this old school ceiling fan, and the ceiling fan has stained glass around the light
Like the
fixture
motor?
of the ceiling fan. And I will not it doesn't match anything in our home, nothing. But I will not let anyone get rid of it because it's like the Pizza
Yes.
Hut light. Do you remember the stained glass
Yes.
lights that hung over the Pizza
Over,
Hut
like,
booths?
the booths and the salad stuff and all that.
I want to put one right here. I need a Pizza Hut light, like hanging right there.
And we also need to get you then the Pizza Hut cups.
Oh, those brown.
You know what I'm
Oh, the
talking
big
about?
red Pizza Hut cups?
Those red cups.
I love
those-
Pizza Hut, man. It's it's like Chief saying in "Give Me Back My Hometown." I get together at the Pizza Hut.
The Pizza Hut.
At the Pizza Hut. Well, that's another thing, Wes. That's a whole other discussion. Another thing I discussed with my wife is that Southern people, everything is down there at the Walmart, down there at the Pizza Hut, over at the Hardee's, down there at the car dealership. Like,
So your
You know-
S that you lose on the end of Reese, you put it somewhere else though. You would tack that S
Yeah.
on the end of the Kroger's. That doesn't.
it's like
It's a
redneck Wordle.
Transitive S.
Wes, you add S's to a lot of words too. I've noticed after editing podcasts now for a few
Like
months. I've
what,
noticed-
Travis?
I forget. There's been a few words that I was actually mad that I was going to start to actually grab them and save them. I forgot to get a couple, but Wes adds some S's a lot
Oh
of
man,
times.
I didn't even recognize.
Listen, I'm the king of like finding your like verbal crutches.
Okay. Trying to think of what I might
You have to point one out when he does it because I
Like
don't
a-
know that.
I will.
I don't.
like go up to the waffle. God, what would I say? Go to
So
the
like we would have
Targets.
like working on like Mike and Mike. There was words that like I knew that they were going to say. Like I could like finish their sentences just because like you work on a show for so long, you know their cadence and words that they're going to use at the end of it.
That's fascinating.
But back to the
So
pizza. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say back to the pizza Hut, though. Did either of you have a reading program where if like you read a book or whatever, you got a free personal pan pizza from the Pizza
Of
Hut?
course. Yeah, we had accelerated.
those were the
we had
best.
accelerated readers.
Yes, me too.
I don't know.
I mean, you want to talk about getting a kid, motivating a kid to read a book? Offer him a free personal pan pizza. That book will get read. I promise.
Personal pan pizzas were the business, dude. That crust on the pan Pizza Hut pan pizza.
Marty's eyes just opened
That
up so
crust.
wide. He went back in time
Dude.
just then. He went on a trip.
My daddy loved sausage and pepperoni.
Ooh, that's good.
Meat lovers or whatever it was, remember? And I can remember so distinctly sitting there watching like whatever it is, right? And we're sitting there gnawing on our only time we ever got to eat on the couch, which was like forbidden in my house, but when we're watching football, we could do it. And so I'm sitting there, I got a Coke, because another great thing about Pizza Hut back in the day, you didn't just they had like 2 liters for 70 cents or something. So, I got rid of that S too. We just eliminated that
It's going
S too.
so-
In the country, it's
Going
70
somewhere
cents.
else.
I'm actually realizing in real time that we truly do have our own language down here. Anyway, another aside, squirrel. Patrick thought the funniest thing he's heard was when I had to admit that Travis was right, that I went due west to Tulsa, Oklahoma from Charlotte. It pissed me off.
Well, you knew it was west. We thought it was
I knew it was west, but I thought it was I thought it was
Yeah,
southwest.
I made
I
sure
thought going down there to Tulsa was accurate.
I made sure to tweet that video out from your account.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
You're
It
welcome.
pained
You
me
should
so
report that,
deeply
Marty.
to
You
have
got
to admit
hacked.
you were right.
You got hacked by Travis.
I forget what I was talking about. Pan pizza?
Yeah, the pan
Yeah.
pizza.
Oh, 2 liters?
Oh, with your
70
dad.
cent?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Daddy. So we'd be sitting there watching the game and, Giants, Cowboys. And my dad would have his pan pizza and we'd have that Coca-Cola that we got in the 2 liter. And then he would just sit there and, be so contented when he fired up his Marlboro Light and just sat there. And, it was awesome. It was awesome, man. And it's funny to me. I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I meant to. I still can't believe the fact that I sat there right by my
Just
old
getting
man.
that
and he-
secondhand
he
dessert
just-
cigarette.
Yeah, dude, just burned it. It was lungdart.com. I still own the house. I shouldn't say the address of my childhood home. But anyway, it just blows my mind now in today's world. But what else did I want to talk about today? I talked about the going back into the racetrack. We've solved
Well, you're
Reese
going to,
PC's,
You're going to
Pizza
Destin.
Hut. Oh, I haven't told my favorite pizza yet.
Okay, what is it?
So, as much as I love the nostalgia of Pizza Hut, and we're big Papa John's people here in the Smith house because my kids love it. The best pizza that I've had is Manco and Manco Pizza on the boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey.
I knew it was going to be up
It
in
is
Jersey.
famous. It is famous pizza. And it was made famous. It's been around. They've been around forever and ever. It used to be called Mac and Manco. It's now called Manco and Manco.
Sounds like a law
And
firm.
Kelly Ripa. Do what?
Sounds like a law firm.
What was yours called? Like concrete and sand?
His
What was that
called
place
like
in?
Catfish Billy's or something.
No,
Yeah,
my
catfish.
answer was Pepe's, but you say, if you get hit by a car and you need help, call Manco and
Yeah,
Manco.
call Manco and Manco's attorneys and pizza.
If you have an accident on the boardwalk, call Manco and Manco. We'll get you your settlement done and a pizza on the side.
I,
About to go meet the good Lord, and it's your last meal. Call Manco and Manco. But anyway, their pizza is awesome. It's like old school, thin crust, delicious beyond words. And what really took them to a whole other plateau was Kelly Ripa, who vacations in Ocean City, or did at some point, if she doesn't still, mentioned it on Regis and Kelly, or Ryan and Kelly, or whatever they're called now. Kelly and Ryan, Ripa, and
Kelly and Manco.
but yeah, she mentioned how great the pizza was on her program, and it just went crazy. It was already renowned and award-winning and best of the shore and la la la.
Wes, what was yours pizza?
Gumby's?
No, Gumby's wasn't it. No, we still go to a place called Automatic in Athens. That's just consistently the best slices.
Ironically, how about this for some irony? Miranda Lambert has a song called Automatic. It's all come full circle, gentlemen.
Time is a flat circle, my friends.
I mean, when it comes to Automatic, we got Wesley eating slices like the devoted father and husband he is.
Her
and Travis-
margaritas are automatic there.
All right.
Yeah.
So your
Travis is,
attorneys and pizza idea. I drove past the place in Athens that was barber and realty. So that's an unlikely.
Wow. They do it all there.
No,
They cut your hair and sell you a house.
you know which one is the best. I wish I knew all the things that it has, Marty, though. It's in Augusta, Georgia, that place right when we take a right. It's like 5 different companies in one building.
I can't.
They have like
what- not
lotto
the-
tickets, and there's like a
Oh, yes.
pharmacy.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there.
automotive.
Yes, there's a
works.
whole lot
Taxidermy
going on
and
right
beauty.
there. And by the way, we take a left.
No, we
You
take
must have been
No.
You must have been distracted by my windshield wipers at
we
that
take
moment.
a right. I will bet you my life on
Travis is about to
it. We
flip.
take a right.
We
when
do
we're
not
going to the
take a
course.
right.
You want to bet on this?
How many times have you ever driven us to the golf course?
A couple.
No, that's a ball. That's a
You've been
bald faced
sitting on
lie.
your
No, I've
phone.
driven a couple.
I'm the driver to the
I
golf
don't even
course.
know how to get there.
Hold on. Speaking of golf, that's another thing I want to discuss. Okay. Sam Burns.
Oh,
Sam Burns won the golf tournament this weekend, okay?
No relation to Ken.
Hold on. I got to look this up.
I mean, he could
No,
be.
no. I mean, we really are. We have a very, we got a lot of synergy on this television program today. All right. Sam Burns wins the Charles Schwab Challenge, okay? In dramatic fashion, sinks a putt on 18. He gets a fabulous plaid jacket, a big old trophy. But those pale in comparison to the fact that by winning the golf tournament, this dude won a 79 Firebird, and it is Carolina blue. It's like steel blue. It has gorgeous rims on it. I saw it on the Instagram machine, and all I could write back to the post was, wait, what? I mean, look at that thing. You kidding me? I mean, it's beautiful. Sam Burns is rolling on dubs.
Well, that's what I just found out this weekend, that if you win the Indy 500, you get the pace car from that year to keep.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome. Everything about the Indy 500 is awesome.
Did y'all see the guy at the PGA that was standing and photobombing Tiger Woods in that moment where everyone was holding up their cell phones, and he's just standing there sipping his Mick Ultra?
Yeah.
He
He's
got
a
a
legend
beard
now.
deal
They're
out
making
of it.
T-shirts, commercials. Yeah, he should. I mean, that should be a lesson to us all. It's like I say about the Masters all the time. The beauty of the Masters is you're not watching the moment through the lens of a cell phone. You're not watching it on an iPhone screen. You're watching it with your own eyes, immersed in the same moment with the people that you're at the tournament with. And there is so much beauty in that, especially today with so much distraction. And the fact that, like, I already thought it was the coolest photo ever. Like, just such a neat photograph, because have y'all ever seen the season finale in 2018 when Tiger Woods is about to win Atlanta? There are hundreds of phones in the air. And then you juxtapose that with the 18th at Augusta National in 2019, just a few months later. And no cell phones. And I love everything about that today, when I'm battling my kids all the time about screen time, when I'm as guilty as anybody, where my wife will be in conversation with me trying to tell me something, and I'm texting somebody or I'm doing that, and I completely miss the entire sentence. And I hate everything about that. It's like, I love this Thomas Rhett song, Country Again. There's this great line. There's a lot of great lines in that song, but one of the great lines in that song is that, even though you're there, you're not even really home, because you're just distracted by either the next event or these stupid things or whatever, your phone. And I try really hard not to be, but sometimes it happens. And that's why I love the concept of that guy living in that moment. Like, I actually get to watch Tiger Woods right now, and I'm this close to Tiger Woods, the greatest ever. I'm going to live this moment, just me and my Mick Ultra.
My $18 Mick Ultra paid off.
I saw a TikTok video. I don't know when this was, but Chris Martin of Coldplay, after one of his songs, he said, "I'd like for this next song if we all could just put your phone down, and we want to just see you with your faces and the phone down for this one song. After that, bring them out, photos, whatever you want." And so I thought that was cool that he just asked the crowd, like, "Can we just get this one moment? It's for us just as much as for you. Like, we want to see you guys engaging with us." And I thought that's
really cool.
A cool request.
Yeah, I love that too, because it's not an overstep by any stretch. It's just, hey, we're here together in this moment, in this fellowship, all moving in the same direction with the same beautiful energy. So for 4.5 minutes, let's all enjoy this together that way. I think that's a really good idea. Find out what song it was. That's neat.
I'll look it up.
That's really cool.
So I texted you guys when I was coming in today that I had a take about Monaco. Monaco
be
Grand
good.
Prix was this weekend. It's goes Monaco Grand Prix, Indy 500, Coca-Cola 600. And I feel like Monaco Grand Prix for someone like me is kind of how, like, a ACC or SEC fan looks at the Rose Bowl. It's beautiful. They understand the pageantry, but SEC fans are probably mad that it messes up the CFP and everything, and new F1 fans don't like Monaco because it's a boring race. And yes, it's cool and has this pageantry, but I'm ready for changes to be made with it.
Okay.
I go back to when NASCAR moved the Southern 500 from Darlington, South Carolina, in favor of Fontana, California. They did that in a moment when the sport was exploding and the opportunity to grow and reach and find new fans overwhelmed the appreciation for history. And it was a terrible decision. And NASCAR will tell you that now. It was not a good decision in the broader scope of what the sport is. And the same applies to Monaco in Formula One. It is an institution, and it is an institution on Memorial Day weekend. And if new fans of Formula One don't like it, go do a little studying, because I say this all the time, there are certain events that transcend the sport. Monaco transcends Formula One. It is an institution. And be careful what you wish for, man. All the new and all the growth and all like Formula One is king shit right now in the United States of America because of Drive to Survive and the amazing job that the people at Netflix did on that medium. It was the perfect storm. All of us were in quarantine during COVID. We were binge watching everything from Tiger King to Ozark, and everybody got on the Drive to Survive bandwagon. Rightfully so. It's a brilliant program. So now there's all of these new fans who feel like they have a voice. And I feel like you got to be really careful, because NASCAR is the perfect example. NASCAR was in a moment back in 2002, 3, 4 when they were doing insane television ratings. The sport was growing exponentially. They're going to new markets. They're talking about building tracks in Staten Island and Seattle, Washington, and heaven knows where else. They're taking the Southern 500 and moving it to California. The Darlington Raceway is the NASCAR museum.
Okay,
Darlington Raceway is amazing. Is there amenities? Is there no. But if you go talk to racers, they want to win Darlington, South Carolina, because it's a freaking racers racetrack.
Okay, but
you got to beat the racetrack.
They didn't move the race. They moved it for money and things like that. I'm saying Monaco needs to be changed because the racing itself, like before the race,
but
Max
it's one-
was
So
like,
you
it's one track.
Mr.
It's
New
one
F1
track.
fan? Max Verstappen won the Miami Grand Prix by like 10 seconds. That was really freaking interesting.
I would say they need to.
Like, what are you talking about?
There's like no overtaking at Monaco. Max even said before the race, he's like, the cars are just too
Max
big.
loves to
and
complain.
there's turns.
Max
There's only
will
one.
complain, and
There's only one DRS zone. Like, there's just no overtaking in the like.
I look, man, that doesn't hold any water with me whatsoever. None. Because all we've done is laud the Miami Grand Prix. And I'm in there too. I was there. I actually went. I saw what they did. Tom Garfinkel, Tyler Epp, everybody involved down there did a phenomenal job. But don't tell me that when you watched that race on Sunday morning that you were enthralled with all the competition, because Max made a pass on third, fourth lap, whatever it was, and was gone. And all of us went to sleep.
Yeah, and that's why I would make changes to that track in Miami if they
for the
race it
record,
again.
pro Rose Bowl SEC guy over here. Don't
Are
mess
you?
with the tradition.
Well, one of Wes's finest hours was
against
I'd say
in the Rose Bowl.
wedding day, becoming a dad, national championship, Rose Bowl.
Yeah, so it's in your top 5 of the greatest moments of your life was the Georgia Bulldogs beating Baker
Pasadena,
Mayfield and the Oklahoma
all of
Sooners.
it.
But I think a lot of people have issues with the Rose Bowl saying we're not moving off of that 5 p.m. time on January 1 and screwing things up.
That's
That was
why everyone in that college football playoff committee makes a lot of money and has their names attached to one of the greatest sports on earth. Figure it out. It's like Marty at SEC spring meetings. Is there an S on the end of that one? They got a lot of a lot of big problems to figure out too. But they're making a whole lot of money as well. Go figure it out.
Yeah, it is currently 9:11 in the morning Eastern, and my flight to the SEC meetings is rapidly approaching. So I got to go.
That's why
have
I
we been
brought
talking
that
for
up.
an
I didn't
hour
want you
already?
to miss your flight, man.
Thank you, Wesley.
Someone's got to keep this show on the rails.
I figured your plane
How
doesn't
long?
leave
We've been
until you
talking
get
for an
there.
hour, haven't we, Travis?
Yeah.
That's
That time doesn't
unbelievable.
lie.
Well, boys, I appreciate the fellowship. That was a great show. I don't know what in the world we discussed. I know we discussed Pizza Hut, Reese Pieces, various Southern words
for the
that
one
have
last thing
S's
before
on
we
them that
leave.
aren't supposed to.
I Googled our map, our route from our hotel to Augusta, and it's definitely not a left. It's a right. I'll leave you with that. I'm right again.
You're wrong.
I'm getting tired of this map stuff, Travis. I'm fed up.
He can think he's wrong. I mean, I don't know. The man needs a. I think you might still be drunk on the old Smoky. Anyway,
Sure.
have an amazing week, y'all. Thank you for being a part of this. Really appreciate our law enforcement officials all over the country working hard to keep our communities safe, first responders, firemen, certainly the United States military. Thank you so much for your sacrifice. We're so grateful to be free. Y'all have a great week, boys. I'll report back from the SEC meeting.
Get you a Merlin's pizza in Destin.
No.